what is the best strength protocol that you have followed? And the reason for it being the best is because it got you increases that you were chasing.
I'd say my own.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Yeah. Well, mate, if you wrote one, yeah.
No, mate. I wouldn't say I've written one. I wouldn't say, it's hard to say whether or not I've found one to be better than the other. What I've tended to do is I will spend, I think the shortest time I've ever spent on one is 12 weeks.
Right.
But I will tend to spend a 12-week block on one, and then I'll change it up. And I change it up so that my body doesn't adapt to what I'm doing. Although I'm constantly trying to lift heavy stuff.
Yeah.
But I suppose also in what I do, because of the clients that I work with, I need to be able to offer them programs and use some of these methods that suit their lifestyle. So I've always found the best way to play around with them is to do them. I absolutely love, although it's more hypertrophy, is German volume. Oh,
you don't like your tendons.
No. But I think the one that I've had the most benefit from was the simple, I think it's termed strong lifts, but it's 5x5. Yeah. And every week is just adding a little bit of weight. Or what I started to play around with that was play around with my reps. So keep the weight the same and then start to play around with increase that rep to maybe 6 or 7.
So it's no longer 5x5.
No, it doesn't become 5x5.
Rebel. Toby, what have you used?
Good question. So I could talk all day about this. So, so really, what it comes down to, regardless of kind of the strength training method. So personally, I break these down into 3. So you have neurological, neuromuscular, and muscular. So it's all kind of a spectrum. So neurological, you're working on purely the neural system and how that fires and connects with your muscular system. Neuromuscular is somewhere in between, and muscular is going to be purely focused on kind of your hypertrophy, your GVT, all that kind of stuff. But regardless of what protocol or method you want to do, it all evolves around progression and overload. So regardless of what method we choose, GVT, 5x5, hack squat, whatever it is, okay, it all comes down to just
hack squat.
To just progressing.
Have you done that?
Yeah.
It's old school.
All of them.
So which was your favorite then? So
no, Toby needs to carry on because he's saying something useful. I won't say something as useful.
You know, for me personally, any kind of deadlift cycle has been super valuable. It's great compound lift, posterior focused, big neural drive, and it doesn't have to be anything complicated. It doesn't have to be crazy amounts of volume, crazy weights, just good mechanics and good consistency progressing over time, for sure.
I would tend to agree with you, mate, that I was just looking for it. The guys on the endurance podcast, I don't know which one it was. I listened to it a few weeks ago. They did a show on... it must have been ages ago. They did a show on strength and for endurance guys. And it's quite interesting because it's different. You want to have a total of over 300. We just want endurance athletes to start doing some strength training protocols. But from what I've seen is exactly what you said, progressive overload, that's all. So long as you are creating that within a program, I think most of it, you could argue, like you said, but do you do 5x5? Why 5x5? Why not 6x6? Do you do Wendler 5-3-1? Do you do German volume training? You know, hack squat. Like, there's just so much different stuff. I mean, I'm with you. University, school through university, 5x5 every time.
Yeah.
One of my favorites actually is Rob Orlando taught me cold bar, which this one's good. You literally, you just have, so you can do it for any of the sort of, well, you can do it for anything. So you have let's take a deadlift bar set up in the gym and you just put it there at 100 kilos. And every time, like 8 times a day, you just do 1 rep. Once that becomes super easy, you just put like 1 kilo on. and you just keep going and going and going. And it comes from an ancient sort of, well, this is how he explained it to me, that about a guy jumping out of a hole. Have you heard this? So this guy was digging a hole, and he'd dig it so deep today, and then he'd hop out, and then he'd hop out tomorrow. I think that's nonsense. But, and he could constantly keep digging the hole, and he could hop out. But Rob's done that with himself and with a lot of people. And I did it once for bench press, and it did actually work.
Yeah.
Over but it's over time as well, which I think is what you mentioned. So you've got progression and overload through a long period of time. The most rank one I've ever done is, I'll have to have a look at it. You back squat or front squat, and you basically max out every day for 14 days. It's horrible.
Sounds Bulgarian or something.
I think it was something like that, mate. And
some Eastern Bloc country.
Yeah, most of the good ones are,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
You know, and those guys are
good pharmaceuticals.
good pharmacy. That's the thing. But yeah, I think that's really the key is progression, and just making sure there is some sort of overload.